Hello, welcome to my 1001 movie series, 1001 movies you must see before you die. And today I'm doing Alfred Hitchcock's Rope. So I dove into my Ultimate Collection Blu-ray set that houses 15 films, and I chose Rope. And Rope is a film that was made in 1948, and Alfred Hitchcock decided he was going to try to shoot this in one long take, which at that point had never been done before. And it was virtually impossible with the way that they shot on film and the way cameras were back then for him to do. So if you look really closely, they filmed it in 8-minute takes, and after about the 8th or 9th minute, he'll zoom in really close to a character's back and then zoom out, and that is him breaking the tape. And if you know film, or if you're looking for it, you can tell it. But back in 1948, I think people might have bought it. But he actually, no, maybe not, because he puts in the film in the opening credits that it was nonsensical of him to think he could be able to do it. So he tried to make it as close as possible. And so the movie opens up with two guys, and they are strangling a third man with a piece of rope, and that is where the title of the film comes from. And so it is very, very tame. Considered nowadays, if you saw somebody being strangled, think No Country for Old Men, where you actually hear the vocal cords being like ripped, and you hear like the last breath, like the wheeziness of it. Is nothing like that kind of scene. It is very, very, very tame. And they put his body in a chest in the main dining room, and they put all the hors d'oeuvres on top of it, and they invite all of his friends, and a good amount of his friends, his fiance, his mom, and older friend, and a professor played by Jimmy Stewart that taught them when they were younger. And so one guy, Philip, committed the murder. He is kind of not on board, and he looks like he was kind of drug along with it, but he's not really into it. And Brandon, the other guy, he is almost getting off on it, and he wants somebody to find the body. And there's a point where the chest almost opens, and you think, oh, they're going to find the body, and then they don't find it. And so you kind of in that moment. And so you should the suspense part is somebody going to find the chest? If they find it, what is going to happen? Is his fiance going to find it? Is the professor going to find it? And Philip's having basically a panic attack the whole time, and he's just down in drinks. And Brandon, he is more kind of fishing for information, kind of from the professor to basically justify what he did, because he believes that the professor thinks the same way he does. And he's also like saying words like strangle, and saying words like, what was the other word? He was basically just saying words that were very funny, that kind of pertained to the murder that they had just committed, but the other people had no idea. And it was very comical. The movie was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a straight kind of suspenseful mystery type film, and it was hilarious. It was tense. I don't think it's as tense as something nowadays, like Zodiac or something that would come out more recent. But I do think for 1948 that it was very, very tense. And I still think it's a tense movie. I just don't think it had the same effect on me because I've seen so much stuff now. But it is a very, very well done film. The cinematography is good. The backdrop, because it takes place in an apartment, the backdrop is obviously fake, but for then I think it really looked cool. And I'm not going to ruin the ending, but when they open a window at one point in the movie, at the very end, and you see all these lights come through the window, and I think it's very, really beautiful the way that was shot, and the way the lights were used in that scene. The last 5-6 minutes were amazing. They were some of the best filmmaking I've ever seen. The rest of the movie was really good, but it wasn't anything that I would really recommend. I wasn't too crazy about it, but I thought it was good. It didn't leave any kind of emotional impact on me. An interesting thing about this film is it was based on a play, and the play was translated from another country. And in that country, Philip and Brandon were were gay and they were in a relationship. And this was in the play was in the early 40s. The movie was in the late 40s. And so Alfred Hitchcock and all the people involved, producers, stuff, were like, we can't make them gay. But they never have romantic partners. They never talk about, oh, my girlfriend or this. So it's almost like back then people would have just thought they were friends, but now you can kind of see through it a little bit. So it's interesting that they're sort of gay, but they're not. But it's a really, really good film. Just it didn't hit it for me. And it's memorable because of the ending, but the rest of the film, I didn't feel anything too special about it. But I did think that the pacing was well, and also the fact that it was a 90. I don't know how long the runtime was. It felt like it was 45 minutes. It was probably an hour and a half. But it flew by, which is it was a positive. So I'm gonna rate this film a B plus. And is it a movie I think you should see before you die? For the ending, maybe. I'd give it a hard maybe. But if it didn't have a great ending, I would say no. So that's my feelings on Rope. And I will catch you for the next installment. I'm going to be watching a third movie tonight, and the review will probably be up tomorrow.